obviously an impressive effort by your group in the second half. What did you see out of your team after halftime?
Well, they made the right adjustments. Our guys made the right adjustments and realized it was about the body and ball movement, sharing it, moving it, trusting the pass, and then their defensive effort was high level and special. To hold them to 10 points in that third quarter, we said we'll hang our hats on the defensive end. Guys realized that we got to sit down and guard in order to get some easy baskets in transition.
Jamal, take us into the locker room at halftime. I mean, just to have that big of a burst in the third quarter especially, what was the discussion like amongst you guys?
Well, that first half, I think we all thought we could just show up the same way that we did in Game 3, and it was going to be the same as though they weren't going to come out and play a certain style of basketball. And once they realized that, they did a great job of communicating with one another, the way in which we needed to play, the way the ball needed to move, how we needed to guard, and that's what you saw in that second half.
The defense, specifically with Jalen guarding Donovan. Mm-hmm. What did you like from him in that second half? A big portion of it, Jalen does a tremendous job getting into the basketball. He's done better navigating over screens. We ended up in some switches, so it was by committee that it wasn't just Jalen on the ball, but he started it, and I think that's a big portion. We've said it. He's the head of the defense when it comes to being the first line of defense there, and he's done a great job for us.
Coach, not many teams have a pair of superstars that can go for 30 and 10, a handful of assists and no turnovers on back-to-back nights in the playoffs. Can you talk about just how special Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero are?
You just said it. They're extremely special. And the beauty of two stars that can play off of each other and celebrate the other star, that's a beautiful thing. When you can watch that unfold real time and watch each guy celebrate the next man next to him, I thought it was fantastic.
What do you make of the chippiness between the two sides, and how do you guys feed off that energy?
It's playoff basketball. You expect it, you embrace it, you don't shy away from it, you lean into it, and do it with what we've been doing for the year. We're a physical team. We're a mentally strong team. We're a focused team. This young group is understanding and continuing to learn how they have to play on a consistent basis.
There were a handful of moments, specifically in the second half, where the Kia Center got incredibly loud, and you look down and you see Mo Wagner getting everyone all amped up. What kind of spark energy does he provide for this group? Because it seemed like he really infused energy in the group multiple times there.
Mo or the crowd?
No, the Mo. Getting the crowd jacked up, but both, the tandem there.
It's who he is, I mean, he plays with a ton of energy, a ton of enthusiasm, and you talk about the joy that you need to have playing this game. He does it. He plays it with a chip. He plays it with aggression and a fearlessness. And I think our fans recognize that. The passion that he has for the game is the same passion that they have for this team, which is what you love about this, this community and how much they continue to support us.
Coach, it was 40 points in the paint in that first half for the Cavaliers, and Wendell and the entire group just came out much more stern, it felt like, especially inside. What was the biggest difference, I guess, for the Magic inside for the paint tonight?
I think Coach Oz did a great job of challenging them at halftime defensively to be better, to take out the paint, protect that first, and then get out and make sure we're flying around and getting to shooters. But I think them willing to take on that challenge from Coach was really fantastic.
Kind of building on that, to see a team that's never been in the playoffs before, never kind of been through the ups and downs of a series, to see them make that kind of an adjustment. You talked about the adjustments earlier. See them do that. What does that say about this team's maturity and how far they've come even in the last week?
It's a credit to them. It's a credit to our coaches who have continued to teach all year and talk about the different experiences we've been through. So it's no different than the game in January, where you're trying to figure out how to get out of a little bit of a slump, or you don't start the right way, but you can't hang your head. And this group showed a tremendous amount of poise to be able to bounce back and understand our defense carries us, and it allows us to get out and get easy baskets on the offensive end.
Jamal, you've told this team this is what can happen, and they don't seem like a group that needs to see it happen, but actually proof of concept and experiencing this and getting the win the way that you did. What does that do just to reaffirm what you've been processing?
This group knows what they're capable of doing, and sometimes you do need a reminder. Even the best teams, have to be reminded how good they can be. And I think that first half was allow us to wake up and look at it a little bit and say, who are the Orlando Magic? How do we play? And to turn that on in the second half, that's what you saw. But that comes from experience throughout the year, a group of guys that continues to pull for each other, and no matter what's happening in the game, not hanging our heads and continuing to push through.
Jamal, of any of the teams you've been an assistant coach or with this team, when was the last time you saw a quarter as dominant as that third quarter was?
I'd have to look that one up. I don't know. I could go back to the days with Denver when there was an elite level of defense there, and able to score. But right now, I have to look that one up and go back into my notebooks and find out when we did that.
What does it say about your team that you managed to win this one when Paolo didn't have a particularly effective offensive game?
That's the great part about that young man. We've said it from before, and a lot of people talk about it when he's scoring and doing all these other things, but he's finding ways to win, whatever that means. And part of that is, celebrating Franz getting going and enjoying that. And then he comes out in the second half, and some of the passes he made were just part of baiting the defense as they're going to shift to him. And so I think his ability to recognize how it's being played and being able to move the basketball the right way, share it with his teammates, and then celebrate his teammates to who the young man is.
Jamal, you mentioned the chippiness that comes with playoff basketball. There were a couple moments when Jalen got into it, Franz and Mo each got into it. The camera flashed on you, and you were smiling like ear to ear. How much do you love seeing the fight of these guys and whatever it takes?
That's this group. We embrace all of it. And we're not shying away from physicality or not shying away from the chippiness, from the talking. That's part of this game. That's part of the game of basketball. And obviously we do it in a smart way, but our ability to embrace all things coming at us. And that's what's helped us grow, helped us get better, and learn from each one of these experiences that we've been in.
Jamal, I know you take it one game at a time, but how good does it feel knowing that there's going to be more basketball in Orlando after what you've seen over the last 2 games in this building?
I think it's our fans, their support is just incredible. The energy that they continue to bring, and the waiting after games, and just continuing to get our guys going. It's great to be a part of. And again, we did what we were supposed to do. You take care of home. We talked about it when we left Cleveland. Take care of home. We did that. Now we got to go out to Cleveland and continue our defensive efforts.
Jamal, when the score was tied 41 and you guys lost the lead and started to get away from you, I think that's the time you talk about you guys were pounding the rock a little too much and not moving it. How do you come out? You guys came out of that in this game and turned it around. When you had those 2 games in Cleveland, seems like that didn't turn around as fast, which is why you lost. So how different is it trying to replicate this in Cleveland? Is it just a matter of experience, or is there something else that goes on with playing on the road for a young team that's kind of hard to figure out?
Let me package that one. Let me try to get to that one. So at the end of the day, and then that's what we said, I think we tried to duplicate exactly what we did in game 3, but each playoff game is going to be different. But there's things that do work no matter where you are, whether you're, on the road or at home. Defense travels. So you got to get stops, finish possessions to get out and run. Offensively, the ball's got to pop, the ball's got to move, knowing how they're loading up, recognizing how they're loading up. And they're loading up to P, they're loading up to Franz, and recognizing what that looks like, but just continuing to share and move the basketball. So I don't think there's a certain recipe other than the simple part of the game. Share it, move it, trust the pass, trust your shot. The first 2 games, we all talked about it. The ball was moving, bodies were moving. We missed a lot of shots.
Thank you, Coach Mose.
Thank you, guys.
Obviously, an impressive second half effort by your group. What did you see out of the team after halftime that helped you guys earn a Game 4 win?
I thought we got stops all second half. Even the first half, I thought we played good defense for the most part, but we had too many turnovers. So I thought in the second half we did a better job of taking care of the ball and then eliminate kind of their easy points in transition. And I thought everybody's really locked in. Everybody that came in from the bench was really locked in that second half, and great defensive effort.
Franz, you were very emotive tonight. It seemed like you were very fired up. You were, getting the crowd pumped up. That's not typically something we like to see out of you. We're glad we got to see that out of you. But I guess when did you kind of realize things were flowing your way and everything like that?
Well, they had me mic'd up for the game, which was the first time for me. So, yeah, I don't know, maybe it was extra jitters or something. But, hope I got my money's worth. Hopefully there's a couple of cool wins.
Franz, what's it say about Paolo being an all-star in his first year that when he sees you rolling and maybe he's struggling a little bit today, that he's deferring to you a little bit and kind of letting you score the rock, and just lots of times he was kind of getting you the ball and he knew you were rolling. What does it say about him that he's willing to do that?
Yeah, I think that's the type of person he is. He truly cares about the team winning. And I think that sets the tone, honestly, for the rest of the group. Like you said, when you see, your all-star doing that, makes it easier for everybody else to sacrifice for the, for the whole group. So I think he's been doing that since he got here, and that's honestly the coolest part about playing with him.
I have a question for each of you. Jonathan, your ability to spread with the three-point shot, whenever you're able to do that, seems like a lot of things just open up for everyone else. And what you're being able to hit that tonight, seems like during that time is when everything really took off. It was, not just relying on one person. Can you speak to what you saw and how, your impact on the game in that regard, and how that you being able to hit that shot kind of helps changes things?
Yeah, I feel like that's the case just in general. When shots are falling, it makes everything so much easier. Driving lanes for Boog, P, Kale to get downhill when they're afraid of the spray out and you can stretch the floor. It makes all the difference. So I'm glad I was able to get a couple of them to fall tonight. But that's just basketball. When you can stretch the floor, it makes everybody's job easier on the offensive end.
And Franz, for you, speaking of all the emotion and all the things that happen in the game, does it get to the point where you guys, I think you've played them 8 times, you'll end up playing them at least 10. Do you start to not like each other and get on each other's nerves? Because it's not just high stakes, but obviously the familiarity between the teams.
I think the competitiveness comes for sure out more and more as the series goes on. For me, that's part of it, and for me, it stays on the court, honestly. So I just love playing basketball, and they happen to be on our way. So we got to do everything we can to, win against them.
Jonathan, Franz mentioned, getting stops was the big key in that second half, and you guys felt like you were defending well. But what was said, or what was discussed, or what was the kind of mindset coming out into the second half to kind of flip things the way that you obviously didn't know a 37-10 quarter was coming, but what kind of flipped to make that happen?
Yeah, honestly, just sticking with it. We turned the ball over a couple of times, and I had a couple of silly breakdowns defensively, but it's like, you give us a 2.5, 3 minute stretch where we can, play the defense that we're known to play. We can blow, the lead on any game. So I think that's a part of what makes us dangerous, and we were able to showcase that tonight.
I think you came out and were a big part of that initial burst in the third quarter. What was your mindset coming out of the locker room?
Just starting off the half strong. Like I said, I thought we played well in that first half. We just had a couple turnovers. That kind of gave him the lead. So I think it's on the first 5 to kind of set the tone for the half and just try to be aggressive and make the right plays.
For either one of you, what are the emotions and what does it feel like when you are going on runs like that in the third? You kind of see the point differential starting to swing. What does it just feel like?
It's obviously a great feeling, especially playing at home, and everybody's going crazy for every play. So definitely gives us another boost. And I think the biggest thing for us is that we did a good job again this game to just stay focused and stay locked in and move on to the next play. And at the same time, obviously enjoy the moment too.
Mo said that Jonathan was your three-pointer off of the bad Niang pass, and then you hit a three that he kind of started to feel like this is our game. Like, we got this. Was there a moment in that third that you kind of felt that same thing? Was it your three-pointer where you're like, oh, this is all us now?
No, not that specific point. I felt like we were already on our way once I hit that one, but I felt like once we, came back from the 9-point deficit, starting that third, and they took that timeout. I was like, okay, I feel like, the momentum is swinging in our direction. And then it was kind of just play after play, and we were able to whittle them down.
Franz, after game 2, you specifically said we just got to go home and do what the Cavaliers just did and win both games. How were you guys able to do that? What allowed you to, when there may have been some doubt from the outside, and how satisfying is it that you guys got it done?
I feel like we've been, battling against that all year. Pretty much from first day in training camp, we talked about that we as a group got to believe that, what we're capable of, and that's the most important thing. And we're not satisfied at all. We just got 2 wins. We need 2 more against them, so we got to stay locked in and, hopefully get the next game in Cleveland.
J.I., to get the 2 wins and even the series, just what kind of momentum and confidence boost has that given you guys heading into Game 5 on Tuesday?
It's huge, just to go down 0-2 early, with them is, it kind of puts everything on the line for us, that Game 3, and then again the Game 4. So I feel like we're in the better position out of the 2 teams right now, and they're going home thinking we have to take care of home court, and so I think the momentum is in our favor, and we go out there and shots are going to fall, and we'll have a great game, and we'll win that one and come home and finish it off.
Guys, what message do you have for fans about Game 6 back here at Kia on Friday?
I mean, it's going to be a big game, obviously, and I want to think game by game, but definitely going to be excited for that one.
Take care of business first. Let's go get Cleveland, and we'll face that when it gets there, but it's going to be live.
Obviously, you guys had a lot of energy from the crowd these past 2 games. How do you bottle that energy and bring it to Cleveland on Tuesday?
I think it's just momentum. I think, to go out there first, it's just, again, we're a young team. We're continually figuring it out. And to get that first, playoff experience on their home court, it's a lot. And so to come home and to feel the vibe, feel the crowd, and to take care of business the way we did, I feel like we're going out there with all the momentum in the world and get off to a great start, win the first quarter, and do what we do.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Mo, obviously a very impressive second half effort from your group. What did you see out of your team after halftime that allowed you to come out with this Game 4 win?
I'm going to be honest with you. I think we played a great defensive first half, as we have been the first 3 games as well. That's a fine. We just threw the ball away too much. Turnovers kills us. It's hard to guard the transition offense. It's hard to win playoff games when you have 11 turnovers. So I think we did a great job defensively, and we just had to pick it up offensively, and we did that.
Mo, what'd you see from your brother tonight? Especially after Paolo had 30 the last game, and then he comes back and responds with 30.
I always say this on a local level. You guys put me in a hard spot, give him this much credit. Obviously, he's incredible. His awareness, his control of the game is just great. He started off distributing the ball. I let the game come to him. He plays with great energy, and he was locking up defensively. Again, I got to drive home with him, so I'm going to keep it in check. I'm not going to exaggerate here, but that was one of the best games I've seen him play.
Mo, we've seen it all season, but tonight there were multiple times where you were amping up the crowd, trying to get the Kia Center juiced up, just playing with joy. Just where does that joy and emotion come from? Was it certainly fueled the win tonight?
That's a good question. I mean, that's kind of who I am. I spend more energy controlling that than I do using it, to be honest with you. Finding a way to channel it in a productive way. It's one of the biggest pieces that I do in life. I think we struggled a little bit in the first half, first quarter offensively, and a little juice helps with that. So obviously there's an awareness and a conscious effort to change the energy in the gym, and we play in front of 15,000 people. It helps. when they support you. So, yeah, there's some conscious effort behind that for sure.
For either one of you over here, when did you guys start to feel the momentum start to shift toward your favor?
You got
I think that third was big for us. I think that, obviously we understood the game plan, understanding that we got to continue to shoot shots when we're open, continue to be aggressive. I'm pretty sure we already talked about all the turnovers we had, but I think that third quarter defensively we really locked in, and then it translated into easy buckets for us offensively. So I think the third quarter was huge for us.
Like runs within that third quarter, a lot of big plays, a lot of moments, Mo, where you were starting to hype them up, or guys were getting into it with other team getting chippy. Was there a specific moment within that third that you guys kind of all looked at each other and said, if we just continue to strike now, we can run away with this?
Yo, when J.I. pulled up on that three after a free throw, I was like, what is going on? I mean, if you make shots like that with that type of swag, it's really hard to beat that. So it's easy to say that now because it went in. But that's how games go sometimes.
Mo kind of mentioned it, that you guys thought you played a good defensive first half, minus the turnovers. What was said in the locker room, or what was the mindset coming into that third quarter? Obviously you didn't know what was going to happen that third quarter. What was the mindset to help kind of flip things?
Just understanding that we don't want to beat ourselves. Obviously with all the turnovers, I think it was a certain amount of turnover for 12 points, and we really wanted to lock in on that. And then our defense energy has been great all night, I think all series as well. So I think we all understand how important it is to start off the first quarter well, and also pretty much the same thing coming out of half. So we all know, man, we all locked in. We all understood the assignment of going out there and having a great start, and that's what we went out there and did.
Markelle, given everything you've gone through throughout your career, throughout this season, just how rewarding is it to help this team win in the playoffs?
That's huge. That's all I care about is us winning at the end of the day, whether that's me sitting on the bench, whether that's me going out there playing. I'm always going to put myself in the best position to help the team win. And it just feels good for everything to pay off for everyone, not only myself, just to see all the hard work going on, that we put in to pay off. It's always good, a good feeling. So just got to keep going.
Markelle, just kind of piggybacking off that, the Magic's bench outscored their bench 43-15. How rewarding is it for the entire bench to go out and contribute like that in such a big game?
It's big time. I think that's one of our superpowers. We got a lot of guys who can do multiple things, who can score the ball in different ways. And when we play like that, we're very hard to beat, understanding the game plan and understanding that it can be anybody's night, but just being aggressive and playing smart, I think that's huge for both lineups, whoever's on the floor at the time, and also supporting each other, while we're in the game. I think that's another huge thing. So I think we've been doing it all season long, but to have it happen right now in one of the most important times is huge.
Mo, this one's for you. So Jared Allen, after Game 3, said he kind of felt like he was out of the paint and kind of in the corner a lot. And then it seemed in that first half he was in the paint a lot, and it kind of, caused a lot of problems for you guys. What changed in that second half, and how has that matchup kind of, dictated the series?
You're talking about Jared Allen, where he was on the court? I don't really control that, but I have a lot of respect for Jared Allen. It's crazy in a playoff series, you play the same team 4 times in a week. You start feeling emotional about the opponent a little bit, and it's getting a little more physical game by game. But it's also respect. He's played an amazing series, especially in Cleveland. He kicked our butt. And obviously, when you have great players, you're trying to minimize their effort. That's their impact. That's just how this goes. And I feel like he's had a huge impact so far, and we got to try to limit him. He had a huge first half as well. So, yeah, we're trying our best.
Thanks, guys.